guys, I'm Gal Oppenheimer and I'm excited to host you for our first Cocktails with Contentstack. Today's episode is Shaken and Stirred. We're going to start by learning how to make 2 cocktails and a mocktail. This first cocktail has a very, very special place in my heart. It was the first adult cocktail I had at an awesome bar in Chicago called the Violet Hour. It was the same night a bunch of my friends finished their BA papers. This was a lot of fun. We went out and celebrated and had an amazing night. Part of why I love this cocktail is, to me, it really sort of feels like spring, which is ironic because we're going to drink it at the end of summer. But if I were to take spring and put it in a cocktail, this is what it would be. So as we start today, we're first going to talk a little bit about glasses and glassware and all that kind of stuff. I personally don't have any fancy glassware because I tend to break things when I wash them, and I don't have a massive kitchen, so I don't want to have all the different cups. But it's important to make sure your beverage is drank at the correct temperature. So if your cocktail is served chilled but doesn't have ice in it, you want to chill the glass before. So a lot of bars will have, under the bar, they'll have a bunch of glasses that are always getting cold. Another great advantage, what you can do is you can just take your glass, you can fill it with a bunch of ice, just like this, and put a little bit of cold water in it. And that will chill the glass very quickly. So we're gonna chill 2 of our glasses for the cocktails we're gonna make. This off the edge. One more. Just because both of our cocktails do not have any ice in them. You'll often see this in like champagne-based cocktails or other ones where you want to serve your drink cold without diluting it over time. Okay, great. So this first one is called a Juliet and Romeo. It is a gin-based cocktail. We're gonna use a couple different items today. We're gonna start with our cocktail glasses in here. What we're gonna do is we are gonna take this cucumber. I think the recipe originally calls for American cucumbers. I personally prefer the Persian cucumbers just because that's what I have at home. So grab these in here, put a couple of these into the cocktail glass. We're gonna muddle these for a bit. Cool. I always say slice yourself a couple extra slices so you have something to munch on throughout the snack. This is personally my favorite measuring glass because it has all the measurements inside of it. And you can see here, you can look from above, and actually you can't see because it's angled. You can look from above and see what's pouring in. If you're a professional bartender, you'll have the little jigglers, all the sizes measured, but I don't make enough cocktails to remember those by heart. So this is what I like. So we're gonna fill this in here with 2 ounces of gin. We're gonna do 3/4 ounce of lime juice. What's nice is 3/4 ounce tends to be about half of the lime. So it's easy if you don't have a way to measure, but it's better if you can. Just get it right in here. Cool, and of course, as I said, that I happen to get a less juicy lime than usual, so let's add a little bit more. Perfect. Pour this in here. We'll do 3/4 ounce of simple syrup. If you don't know how to make simple syrup, it's very easy to make at home. It's just 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water. Boil it on the stove for maybe 5-10 minutes until it melts. Stir it up a bit and just drop it in. It'll last a couple weeks in the fridge. In a future session, we're going to talk about making infused simple syrups for some other cool cocktails, but that is not for today. We're going to also drop 3 drops of rose water in here. I don't actually know what rose water is, but you can buy it at your local liquor store, actually sort of like your fancier liquor store. So in California, we have Bevmo, Binny's in the Midwest. With bitters and with anything like this, they have very precise amounts. You don't want to just, if it says like 2 drops of bitters, you don't want to put in 10, 15. That will actually really ruin your cocktail. We're going to drop in some mint leaves as well. We just need pinch of salt. Cool. And we'll add some ice. You'll see sometimes at bars they might, instead of using, they might use just a pint glass for the jiggler. To use this, you want to shake it. Awesome. Cool. And so because we used, we muddled some cucumbers, put some mint in, we don't want to just strain this directly into our glass. What we actually want to do is we want to use, you want to strain it as well as use one of these, a sieve, to basically make sure no clumps or pieces come out. Great. And then we're going to grab a mint leaf. Let's grab one more right over here. Let's find a pretty one because you want to make sure the presentation is great. Here is a good one. Right in here. And so we're going to drop this on top of the glass. Put one more splash of the rose water right on top of that leaf. There. And then we are going to add 3 drops of the Pashad's bitters around. This is for coloring as well as flavor. So you put 1, 2, 3 in there. So now we are done, and let's taste it. Let's see how it tastes. Awesome. Cheers, everyone. Perfect. Awesome. Awesome. So the second cocktail we're going to make is called a Black Manhattan. The Black Manhattan is my personal favorite cocktail. It is a bourbon-based Manhattan cocktail, sort of a twist on the traditional Manhattan. Instead of doing vermouth, we're going to do Averna. So it's an Amaro over here. You can always pick a bunch of other Amaros as well. Just never use Fernet. Fernet is a very, very different flavor set than what you're looking for. We're going to use it with a rye. I tend to use Dickel at home. It's reasonably priced. It's pretty easy to find at your local grocery store. It doesn't sort of break the bank. Also, for the gin, I forgot to mention before, you want to make sure to get a dry gin. Traditionally, it's Beefeater. When I went to the store, they didn't have any. Don't get a sweet gin, so nothing like Bombay Sapphire, a more sort of British style dry gin is where you want to go. Close this cap. Awesome. So we'll do that in here. Okay, so now let's grab this cocktail. We are gonna put in here, we'll start with 2 ounces of rye. A nice thing about this cocktail is if you have sort of a glass like this to stir in, you can actually usually double it if you want. So if you're doing a party, you have a lot of friends over, you can make this faster by putting it in here. So we'll do 2 ounces, 1 ounce of Averna. Awesome, and then traditionally you put Angostura bitters, a little bit of the regular and a little bit of the orange. I think it's fun for everyone to have sort of their own twist on a cocktail. So I found this awesome blood orange bitters that I use instead. So you just put like just a drop or 2 right in there. And then we will grab some ice. Cool. Now let's stir, make sure to stir for at least 20 seconds. Something like this, it sometimes sounds like, hey, like I'm gonna save time. Sometimes you wanna sort of save time, stir a little less, but it's actually really important to stir the cocktail for a couple of reasons. One, you need to chill down the beverage to the right temperature. Number 2, also it actually happens to the dilution. So I've done this before where I was lazy and didn't stir it very much. If my liquor came from the fridge, I didn't really do anything, it didn't taste as good. So you really do want to stir it a lot. And now, because I didn't crush my ice or shake it, I don't actually need to use this strainer. I can just use this one. So we'll go in here, drop this in here, strain this into the glass. Awesome. And then traditionally, this is also served with a maraschino cherry, not the little red ones you remember eating as kids on top of ice cream sundaes, but the more traditional actual cherries. I don't have any at home, so we're going to have it without it. Cheers, everyone. So just as a reminder, today we went through how to make a Black Manhattan and how to make a Juliet and Romeo, which is not the same as a Romeo and Juliet. Very, very different cocktails. You don't want to mix those up. Awesome. And now we wanted to make sure to have something for everyone, so in case you don't like alcohol or don't drink, you should still have some awesome fun cocktails. So we are going to make a sort of a watermelon mint lemonade. So we're going to start by grabbing our watermelon. I love these little mini watermelons you can get at Costco because they take up a lot less space in your fridge and are easy to eat, and honestly, like almost all of them taste good, so you don't have to like think about did I get a good one, a bad one. So we'll grab this in here and we'll scoop it out. We're gonna probably speed this up on the recording, but we're gonna scoop out the inside, grab it in here, and so what we want to do is we want to puree it. There's a couple different ways to make this cocktail, so depending on if you want more of a slushy, you can just puree it, use the actual sort of slushy mix. If you want to have it be more liquid formed, you can then strain it at the end. Drop a little bit of this in here. Actually, also the way I like to eat my watermelon is actually like to eat it straight out of here. And so this is just a lot of fun because then you don't have a mess as you make it. You don't have to spend time slicing it. We'll grab one more. And then if you have an immersion blender, it's perfect for something like this. If not, you can always use a regular blender, whatever you need. So we're gonna blend it. Awesome. And for this, honestly, we only need about 3/4 of a glass. 3/4 of a cup. Doesn't have to be exact. And what's nice with something like this, because you're not doing an even measure of liquids, it doesn't need to be measured as precisely. Let's grab our glass. We're going to muddle in some mint as well. Just put a little bit more in here, give it a little bit of stronger flavors. I'm a huge fan of mint. Little things like this, you can sort of see where your taste buds lie, where you want to take it. Some ice in here. And now we get to add, let me just double check this one. This is a recipe I don't always know by heart. Yep. I'll drop the watermelon juice in. We do want to strain this one. So sometimes if it's pretty pulpy, you can use a spoon to pulse it through. And if you're making more of a slushy kind, you would have actually blended it with the ice instead of without. The other thing I like about this is usually this doesn't actually need any simple syrup. It's usually sweet enough from the watermelon, but if you want to make it a little bit sweeter, you're always welcome to add some simple syrup in. And now let's add a little bit of a little bit of lime in here. Sparkling water or club soda. I use a soda stream at home, but you can always get club soda. It's important to make sure to use enough bubbles. You don't want like a light sparkling water, but actually stronger club soda. Drop this in here. little bit. I'll stir this slightly. That's fine. I had a pretty sort of mint sprig in here. Place this right in here. And there it is. Thank you, guys. So I guess it's not really a mint watermelon lemonade because there's no lemon in it, but it's a mint watermelon limeade. Thanks, guys. But yeah, so today we learned how to make 2 cocktails and an awesome mocktail. We'll clean up a little bit to have some space. So the Juliet and Romeo, Black Manhattan, as well as the watermelon mint limeade. So thanks, guys. Join us next month for some more cocktails.